Hey, savages. Thursday Musings of a Joe Schmo here. We're going to talk Title 42, migrant caravans, Arizona being sued by the United States government, and our Congress is completely inept. You know the deal? You want to hit? Here you go.
'Cause fuck you, that's why. 'Cause fuck you, that's why. 'Cause our youth needs their butt kicked, that's why. They ought to be fighting in a war, that's why. They need fucking discipline, that's why. Fuck you, that's why.
A massive border crossing in Texas overnight, as hundreds of migrants trekked across the Rio Grande to reach the United States. Fires burning to keep them warm in cold temperatures. Men, women, children, and entire families lining up at the U.S. border after crossing illegally from Mexico.
So there you got to take a little glimpse of what we have to look forward to and basically what's been happening for the past 2 years. Migrant caravans pouring over the border or preparing to, right? This has been, again, an ongoing issue since bedriddens came in. A little over 4 million known illegal crossings. And again, that's just the ones that are known, right? And so that brings us to Title 42. Biden, and them have tried to rescind it repeatedly since he took office. Well, now they're going to get their wish, for it expires this month on the 22nd, right? And as you can see, other people are well aware of it too. I'm sure they got a whole crowd, a mess of their little drones running around and alerting these groups. Title 42 is expiring. Come now, come now. Nothing anyone can say could possibly change my mind. Replacement theory is not really a theory. It's a conspiracy, but it's not a theory. You can go into the New York Times archive, read the article, "We Can Replace Them." And it explains it, their idea in, decent detail. You'll understand that, the sentiment is real. The left loves people that they assume are going to vote for larger government. And, the establishment right loves cheap labor. So, you have no one trying to stop this except for localities, which will bring us on to the next story here. The United States government now has took it upon themselves to try to sue Arizona, right, for trying to secure our own border, right? We've spent millions of dollars of our own state taxpayer funds and built a stopgap with 2 stories of shipping containers. And, the government, the United States government is trying to sue in this case, not in favor of any person or state or entity, except for itself, basically. The only thing they can come up with is trespassing. They're trying to say that some of the containers are placed on federal lands, okay? Which I know the big government goons out here are going to be like, they got them. That's a good one. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, if anyone knows anything about the United States structure, the federal government is not supposed to be able to own land outside of D.C., which I understand, like most founding documents at this point, they've pushed to the wayside and, they just do whatever the fuck they want. But that's reality. The federal government is not supposed to leave the bounds of Washington, D.C., and we've seen in years previous, you've seen standoffs with the Bundys and the Finchams, as far as gathering basically a militia to tell the Bureau of Land Management, right? And, obviously, it didn't work. I mean, you've seen people died over it, right? Not that day. They pushed it out a little later to try to make it seem not too associated, but, we know the deal. So, it's an ongoing issue, and these people will find any way to villainize you for protecting your own things and people. No joke, it's here, man. So that'll bring us on to the next part here, which is our Congress is completely inept, right? They announced yesterday that they signed a 1-week funding bill for the federal government. 1 week, right? And it's because both sides wants that W, man. The left obviously they need that W because they have a Republican majority coming into Congress here shortly, and the Republicans want to wait till that majority so they can get the W, right? But both are completely inept losers. The funding now, they're talking 1.7 trillion, which is obviously more than the previous year's record-breaking 1.5 trillion funding bill. I mean, again, trillion. I know that this number has been played out to the point that, not only do most people already can't grasp that large of a number, but, you repeat things enough times, it loses its meaning or its impact. And, we're talking trillions here. I mean, the country is already in debt by 30 of those trillion. Now they want to spend 1.7 trillion, 856 billion of which will go to the military-industrial complex. And guess what one of the holdups are? They want billions more for the Ukrainians, right? I mean, if you're not sick of, these pieces of shit lizards sending your money to a dictator to fight a dictator, fuck, man, what's wrong with you at this point? You know what I mean? Breaking ourselves to prop up the shit stack up until recent times was known as one of the most corrupt places on the planet. You know what I mean? But here we are breaking our grandkids to fucking help them out. Right? But listen, you guys tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you coming by. Smell you later.